Okay. Woohoo. Okay, that's step one to get this recorded. Thanks all for being on. As you know, I'm Sherry, and I'm leading this call with Tanya tonight. We absolutely love seeing you guys, seeing your faces, connecting with you guys as much as we can. So a little bit about Tanya before I let her take it away, and then I will, I guess, close it out. So some accolades for Tanya, little Miss Tanya. She's been with us since August of 2020. And she just hit director in June of 2021. So less than a year. That's pretty darn impressive. I just saw 19 people on your team, and I think you added like 12 or 13 in those 3 months qualifying for the Leaders and Achievers retreat, which is incredible. And you guys, it's so, if she can do it, we can all do it. She just did the work. She really did the work, and she showed up, and she invited, and she asked, and she did the hard work, and she's definitely deserved to be at that Leaders and Achievers event. So excited to bring one of our teammates there with me. So yeah, we're just going to talk about our takeaways from that, and I will let you take it away, Tanya.
Awesome. I thought I'd start with a little, like, kind of a funny story that kind of led me to the Leaders and Achievers first. So when the promo came out or whatever in January 1, I watched live. I do everything. I try to get on live on everything. And I remember texting Lucinda and saying, I need a map. Like, how do I get there? I think, Sherry, I even messaged you after, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I don't know how though. So like, tell me. And Lucinda said, you just have to add people. But she also said, she was like, I think this one's really made for people who are not ranking yet. So like, your rank advancement got you more points, but when you're already at director, it's hard to get to that senior director to get more points. And I was like, oh gosh, okay, well, I'm just gonna do it. And then we had Mini Summit. And so I watched Mini Summit, and there was a girl who shared, I'm terrible with names, and she said to call the rep kit a bundle. And that same day, I offered it to a coworker I teach, and I was like, hey, would you be interested in the bundle? And she was like, well, what's the bundle? And I told her, and I had already told her about the enrollment kit. And she was like, yeah, I'll do that. And to this day, she's still on my team as a discount rep, and it's great. So sometimes it's just the terminology and so on that makes a difference. Okay, so I really picked 3 main takeaways. There were so many, but these are the 3 that like I feel like really sat with me about the weekend. And the first one is to believe in yourself. So we had a whole presentation from Katie Harlan, and like she had kind of asked us all what we wanted to learn about, and I don't remember what I put specifically, but she said that almost everybody put recruiting, which is funny because we all got there through recruiting. So she said, like, I think that the tricky part is you don't believe that you can recruit, because like you want more training, but like you did it. So you actually probably don't need more training, you need to believe. And I thought that was so interesting. Like it really like sat with me a little bit, and I thought about it for a while, and I was like, you're totally right. Like there were people who, I think the highest number was 15 enrollments in 3 months, and that is amazing. So there is a quote out there, and I couldn't find it before this, but it talks about like, once you say something, it's more likely to come true. And so I have been, you know, Lucinda encouraged me to say it on live on my Facebook page that this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing it. And so I said it, and it started happening. And I remember looking at my husband like, so somebody else joined. Like, I actually think I have a chance at Mexico. And he was like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah, like I'm going to Mexico. Are you coming? You don't have to, but I'm going. So I think that one is like sitting in the forefront of all of my thoughts right now. Is like, once I think that this party is really slow, nope, I've got this. I'm going to change my tune and really start believing in who I am, and like helping my hostess if she needs more coaching, or just, you know, figuring it out and pivoting and continuing on. Um, another, if people have questions, they'll just put it in the chat. Is that right, Sherry? Yeah. Okay. Um, so another really big one for me was that about adding reps. So a lot of us talked about how like, yeah, when we were in Chicago, I still was the director. I was almost to senior director, but I couldn't hit it. I was like a couple $100 away every month for the past like 3 months. And we were talking about like, well, I have so many reps who are here for the discount, and that's so great. But to make it to that executive spot, you have to have 2 directors underneath you. So you could have all of these reps below you, but if they're not, hitting that director spot, you're the highest you can go without them is senior director. And Katie and Monica's answer was, but that's okay. I mean, because she asked us all to raise our hands and like, who here started just for the business? And nobody raised their hands. We all started for the discount. And by simply having the discount, we turn like you either it lights your fire or it doesn't. And it could go either way. So once they're on your team, your job is to figure out, like, continue to check in and see where they're at, because people can go from the discount to the business and then back to the discount. And then it's just our job to support them wherever they want to be. And so I thought that that was really, really interesting. So she gave this analogy of like farming. So she said, our job is to plant the seeds of the business. So you can talk about the bundle, you can talk about the discount, you can talk about really anything if it's about the business or not. But she said, as long as you're planting those seeds and continue to water them, so don't plant them and then like never check back, but continue to water them, somebody is going to bloom into a flower. And she said, and if they, if it doesn't, that flower leaves, you just plant another seed. And it's kind of like a recycling. Like, we're not happy that they're gone, but we're not going to dwell on the fact that they left. We're just going to continue pushing forward and planting seeds. So it was really nice to hear that it doesn't really matter why they were joining. What matters is when they're there, if they want to continue and like blossom, or if they just want to be a discount rep, and that's okay too. So we get to meet them where they're at. And then the third big thing that Monica touched on, and she actually touched on it in the last big on FIA training, was attraction marketing. So I didn't realize how important it was to be on Instagram. So like, I was in Facebook, I loved my VIP, I went live a lot. I tried to do more of my outfits of the day, but there was a huge push to get out of your VIP group and then get on to your page, but not just your page, also your Instagram. And so I was saying, like, I don't know anything about Instagram. Like, I made one, 12 years ago, but I did nothing with it. And so we did a little bit about, Monica and I talked a lot about like, okay, well, here's a YouTube video, like, you got to be a self-starter and like look things up. And then if you need help, like, message us and then we'll help you from there. But she talks about picking 5 things that people would want to watch you for, and it doesn't have to be VIA related. So she asked like, oh, well, do you cook? And I was like, nope. Do you bake? Nope. So for me, I came up with definitely the business. Like, I want to talk about my experience with Zaya and like how it's blessed my life in so many ways, not just monetary. Like, there's so many things that I would have never been on Alive talking about this with you had it not been for Zaya. So like, it's the gift that just keeps on giving. So I did the business, and then I'm a teacher, so I talk a little bit about teaching. And then my kids are a huge one. Like, they're a big part of my life. So I talk about my kids. I talk about a little bit about fishing, but my kids started their very own business this year, and we've talked about, like, so we make dog treats. But all of those 5 things, whatever they are, they get to be you, and they have to be real. You create these hashtags, and then people from the hashtags start to follow you. I can't tell you, I think I've doubled my Instagram followers, I assume, from hashtags. I get people who message me about things and I'm like, I don't know if I should respond. Like, is this real? But I mean, I do, and some are good and some are not good. But so yeah, their Instagram and hashtags have made a big deal. So I've had to, like, explore the difference between a story versus a post versus a reel. And that was very interesting. But I figured out you could connect your Facebook and your Instagram so you don't have to do double the work. And so that was really helpful. But those are really my 3 biggest takeaways. I can say that I am an extrovert, but at first I'm an introvert, right? So I am still building my confidence and still giving myself some grace. But once I'm there with you, like, I share my life with you. And so for going on this trip, for me, was, like, very outside of my comfort zone. I had come up with every reason I should cancel, even up to the day before. But then once I was there, I felt very much so like I was in the right place. And, like, I couldn't believe how everybody said the same thing. They were like, I don't even know that I deserve to go. And I was like, wait, I thought that, like, that's funny. I didn't think that, like, didn't think I was the right person. Like, I took someone's spot. So I think that everyone was feeling that way. And if this next opportunity in October, I mean, if you can plant seeds now, water them, I would go. It changed me. So that's all I have.
That was so good, Tanya. That was so good, so real, and I'm glad you're, like, implementing things, like, right now too, like, right away. I mean, that's, like, a big deal. And I love when you said, yeah, like, with the hashtags too. Like, I forget about those. I mean, those are those are big. And you started with belief. That was, like, my number 1 too. So my takeaways, and so these are my takeaways, but then also what I believe that the most successful in our industry are doing. And one is that belief. And so the belief, and Kristen Boss says this too, the belief in yourself and belief in your company. So you have to have, like, both of them. And if you guys don't have the belief yet, know that your uplines and myself, we all have belief in you. I mean, Katie Harlan had belief in Charmaine before Charmaine had belief in herself, and Charmaine's one of the top of the company. You know what I mean? So, like, we all go through it, and even in every seasons in our life too. And if you're feeling like you're lacking it, do know that we believe in you. But then also for myself, like, before I do, like, any business activities, I like to do, like listen to a podcast, or, like, really just kind of get my energy up and, just feel empowered and feel confident, because then before I do my business activities, I come across a lot different, right? I come up, like, just more confident and more fun, and, like, just, it's more light. Like, you're not feeling hustly, you're pressured to, like, get a party or get a rep. Like, it's just, join me or not, I don't care. I mean, I'm just having so much fun, you know what I mean? And it's just, I'm just doing my thing. Like, even music just kind of helps flip my switch and gets me to, like, in a better mindset as well. Yeah, podcasts before reach outs and follow-ups. Yeah, I mean, they're so good, like, mindset. And that's why Kristen Boss, she's a mindset belief coach. I mean, that's what she is. I mean, people pay to get into her program for all of her content and stuff, but it's like, we have to work on it daily. I mean, we really do. People at the tops of the company still have, like, belief stuff that they're working through, and we just have to work through it daily. So belief is number 1. So belief in yourself for 1, and then belief in the company. And I want to share this with you guys. And if you watched my live, you probably heard some of this, because I went live on my personal page. belief in our company, you guys. It's so good. And I think I have so much belief in it is because I was in a different company before. You guys just don't understand like what you guys are bringing home a month, like just by yourself with your own parties. You have to understand that's a huge deal. Like you guys are bringing home more than I ever did with a team of 60, more than I ever did with a team of 60 in 4 to 5 years. So I think that's like with Zaya, if you've never been in the industry before, you just kind of assume, oh, making a couple $100s a month is not that big of a deal. It's a big deal. This is not like other like companies and under, it's a way harder to make $500 to $1,000 a month in many, many companies. And yeah, Nikki's been in other companies as well. So I just want you guys to know that you can bring in a great income with just yourself. Like you do not need a team. Yes, a team is great for residual income. And if you have if you have like big goals, absolutely you want to grow a team, but don't ever feel like you're lacking because you don't have a team. You can definitely, reach any of your goals, your confidence goals, like just being part of a community, like 500 to 1,000 a month. You can, and even more than that too. Like there's no limit to what you guys can do here with Zaya. And I know this because again, I was in another company and it was really, really, it was hard. It was hard. And if you don't know this too, like Katie was in the same company, Monica was in the same company. A lot of the top leaders within our Zaya on Fire team were in the same company and we all left. And we are doing wildly more successful here than we ever did there. So we're doing the same activities. It's just so wild to me that we're having totally different results. So believe in our company of Zaya, and we're just getting started. Again, we're still in Canada only, US and Canada. So I would try to, as much as you can, find some friends in Canada and just like really friend them and see if they'd ever want to join you in this. And then I'd also kind of look out internationally because we're going to be in international in 2 to 5 years. If you know anyone in Australia, if you don't, try to find someone in Australia or the United Kingdom. I mean, I'm thinking those are going to be the top two that's kind of where all the other industries are going first, definitely Australia. So, so have belief in yourself, have belief in our company. We're going places. Zach, whenever we get on those leadership calls with, Kayla too, like Zach's always in so much gratitude for us as reps and for our customers too. They're always like, we're not going to do it if it's not going to help you guys as reps and our customers. We're just not going to do it. So they're always looking out for our best interest. So again, belief in our company is a huge one. And then vision was number 2. So if you have belief in yourself and you have belief in the company, your vision's going to be bigger. And you get that vision again from just being part of the team, right? Connecting with the team, even going to those live events or being on live calls, going to those live events, like that's where yes, Kayla. Yep. And that's where I think Kayla and my vision really exploded was with that first live summit event that we went to. We were both like in the back of the room. Like we didn't get there early. We just, we didn't get there early. We got there on time and we found the last seats. We were in the back of the room and we're like, we're going to be on stage one day and we will, like, it's going to happen. So, we just saw the vision so much more when we were there live. And so vision, where you are going as a person, where your team is going, and then also the vision of the company, which I mentioned earlier. It's internationally, like it's booming again. We can do a bunch of different things than just clothes. We can do shoes. We could do a whole bunch of other things because, I mean, it's just, we're just starting. We're just getting started. So, and then the vision I also wanted to share too was like, again, at that retreat, we were talking about vision. We did, and not just vision, like what you see yourself like in a month, right? Like just don't focus on getting those 3 reps or doing like the vision of, just these sales or just this rank, but like, where do you see yourself at the end of this year? So we talked about where we're going to see ourselves at the end of this year. Yeah. 5 different countries. Yeah. So yep. So by year end, so some of our visions were to build a team to where we're double, like that's a great vision. Some wanted to qualify to Hawaii. Some wanted to improve social media and their tech skills. Go live. Was that you, Tanya? Go live on your personal page. I know that was Charmaine. Go live on the personal page because we are safe in that VIP group, but we're going to hit more people on our personal page. One was recruit like-minded people. And then I really want to share this the 5-year vision that we had. Even Kristen Boss talks not even about end of the year vision, but like 3 years. What's your 3-year vision? Because we're getting into this not just for what we can make today, but like our long-term like income. And again, that's something that Kristen says too. It's just like direct sales isn't like immediate. It's not like what you're going to make today. It's what you're going to make, 3 years from now type of a thing. So what's your 3-year plan? Katie and Monica had us talk about like 5 years from now, where do we see ourselves? And I'm going to read all of these because they're all so good. And it's 5 years, guys. Like 5 years is a long time. This can happen for anybody on our team on this call. So one of them was bring a lot of my downline girls home to Zaya full time. Have 1 million in group volume in a month. Have team of thousands. Leave my job. Live my best life. Have kids' college funds paid for. Dream car. Dream house. $1 million earner. Vacation home. Spread the message of self-love using this platform and start a charitable organization. All of these can happen. I mean, this is 5 years. That's a lot of time. And we're going a lot of places, again, with belief and vision. And so so I had top 2, but like in my stories, I found a video where I had 3, like number 3. So I'm like, we'll have to come up with another one. So my bonus one is just being connected like with our team. Let me see what I wrote about that really quick. Vision, hold on. Oh, last page here. Yeah, so just like staying connected, because like even as an entrepreneur in this kind of space, we can still feel lonely at times. So if you ever feel like you're lagging or like you just like personal development, just like really just connect with the team, whether it's on the team page or in Messenger, or message us, myself or your upline. Again, I think there's so much power being on these team calls live too, Tanya. I mean, I'm seeing you and Nikki showing up like consistently, I mean, all the time. And then I look at your businesses and I'm like, well, this is one of the reasons why you got your personal business and your team business is doing so well, is just being on those live calls. Cause I think we all can watch the replays, but I think there's just so much, like, I just feel more connected with you guys, just like seeing you and talking and head nodding and all the things. So, so staying connected. And then I think a big thing too, Tanya, was not just us being there, because it went so fast. Like I think about it and I'm like, we got there, we hardly like connected. And then the next day was just like training and photo shoots. And we had one-on-ones with Katie and Monica, which was really cool. And then that night was probably my favorite part, when we just bonded and connected. And then we went to bed and we all left in the morning, like early in the morning. So it was like super fast. And I know they're going to make it like a little bit longer next time, which I think we'll all appreciate. But the cool thing about that was we're all still connected. We're in our own little chat. We're still like supporting each other, asking about like, what would you do if this person messaged this? What would you say? And that just happened today. So like our bond was not just at that retreat. I think it's like the aftermath and everything from after that. So yeah, if you guys can get there, and like Tanya said, planting those seeds now, because you just never know when they're going to bloom. And if you plant them now, when they start, the 3 months, what is it, like September, October, November, you might have some like people wanting to join you then, and if they want to join earlier, great. Like that's not bad. That's a great thing. So just start talking about it and planting those seeds now. So what do you want to say, Tanya?
So I put it in the chat, but I think it's super important that it's like tumbling off of the belief piece. And we talked about this, Sherry, at the retreat. I think that if you see potential or up the road that one of your teammates is on, it is vital to tell them. I shared this story that like I was ready to quit in December. I was really frustrated. I wasn't hearing back from people. I was definitely being what is it, ghosted by people. And I don't know if it was the holidays and like it's Minnesota and it's a sad time because there's no sun. I don't know what it was, but I was ready to quit. And Lucinda she had no idea that I was in this rut. And she messaged me and said, like, it made me cry for sure. And she was like, I see this vision for you. And I was like, really? Because I'm ready to quit. She was like, wait, what? And I was done. And I felt like there was this huge drought, and like it was kind of like COVID was slowing down, and maybe Uzziah was just big because of COVID. And I created all of these thoughts that were unnecessary in my mind, and that I didn't, it was unnecessary, but Lucinda saved me, essentially. Like, I could have put in my folded, too much work, I'm out. And I'm thankful I didn't.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing, because like January to now is just really when your business started to explode, right? It's kind of like that miner that Katie talks about all the time. And you guys seen that picture, like you're just mining. You're right. And that's when one of the guys turns around and leaves, and like the diamonds are like this far away. That's like kind of what happened to you, Tanya.
That was for sure me. It was 100%.
Yeah.
The other thing I was... Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to share that at the very end, I think you said something so valuable about how none of us have stopped talking to each other. I have learned so many things outside of the business. Like, again, we talk about Instagram. I am able to message them because there's one girl who's amazing at Reels, and I would have never met her. I mean, she lives in Texas. She's not on our direct downline or upline, or she's a sideliner. And I can't tell you how cool it was to make these connections outside. And everybody who was at that trip is also going, well, not Sherry. Most people are going
I'm hoping I can go to the Cancun one in September. I'm still kind of iffy on that one, so we'll see.
Well, yeah. So it was kind of cool to even learn things that, like, I learned about batch posting on SynthShare, like something that has changed my entire life. I learned because it was in conversation. So there are so many more things that you learn from people just by talking to people who are like-minded and similar, and doing the same thing. So I think that you're right, is that team building. And Katie really talks about how important it is to like meet with people, like see them, touch them, see your team if you can, because that's when those conversations start to happen. That's when there's more bonding and there's more energy.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm done.
No, that was good. That was good. That was better than I was going to say anyway. So I don't even remember what I was going to say. So it was good. Do you guys have any questions for us since we're on the call? There was a lot of awesome chatting going on. But yeah, I think like the biggest thing too for you, Tanya, is like you just do the action. Like, I think there's so many things behind the scenes that nobody knows and sees. But that's why you're so successful, is because you, like, again, you make those connections. I didn't know you were still talking to, Megan on the side too, like, how cool is that? That's very cool. Oh yeah, I was going to mention the comparison game. I think that was the big thing, Tanya, that right before you're going to quiz, because you were comparing yourself to our top leaders and on our team. You can't do that. Like, we have to stay in our own lane and just know, yes, believe in the process and just know what you guys are doing. You're doing amazing. So yes. So thank you all. Thanks, Sherry. Thanks, Nikki. Thanks, Pamela, for being on. I love seeing your pretty faces. Liz, Grace, see Jamie, and there's someone else. And I think Mickey joined too. So yeah, there's nothing else. I think we're like at 31 minutes. So that's a good time to wrap things up. So thanks again, guys.